Thank you for joining us at FintechTalks this morning. Actually, Sherry, if you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi. My name is Sherry Wu. I'm the CTO at the University of Michigan Credit Union, short for UMCU. I'm being in this role about a little over 8 years. This is my first actually financial service job. And before that, I'm always in the technology field, working in multiple different companies in different industries. So really enjoy how the technology drive how the financial services is going. So really enjoy the ride, the journey, everything in between.
That's great. That's great. Why did you choose to become? Why did you choose this role?
Yeah. So like I said, I always in the technology field, and then I did MBA at the University of Michigan Ross Business School because I feel like purely technology if we want to go to leadership. So I did that, and then while at the school, I started exploring like what other options I have. So I joined the HP as a consultant, so I able to see different industries, work on the multiple different projects, and then I always feel like I want to go to a industry where technology is the front and center, will be a great it's a driver versus when I work at the automotive example, and they feel like IT is a cost center.
Yeah.
You cost money. You're not really producing because the design the cars or making the cars, those are all the core business. IT is not. So, and then at that time I said, I really want like what financial industry works. Beside the healthcare, I think it's the second industry really impact people's life. And also with all the technology driven, all the new things going on, it's just something I can provide in more effort, make a bigger impact. Yeah. So that was a mindset of I want to get into financial service. And so I applied and I got the job at the University of Michigan Credit Union as the CTO. I'm really grateful for the opportunity because get that job without any financial industry experience. Yeah. So that's really fortunate to have our CEO giving me the opportunity, we see the vision, seeing capable, have my transferable skill from others can go. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity.
That's very interesting because I think what you just said is a lot of how I've chosen or driven my career. I always have tried to be at the center of whatever the company does. So I was a chip designer at Intel. I worked in business at Citibank. Yeah. I worked in product at a fintech startup. So it's sort of I really think that it's to your point, it's great to be at the point where value is created at an organization. Yeah. At the University of Michigan Credit Union, there's obviously like a big community there. What are some of the needs of that community that, as a technologist, you try to help solve?
Yeah, so as a credit union, we really, as a member, helping members, right? So we're really great in the make impact in the community we serve. And so a lot of the things we do, like some of the members, they got turned down from the bigger banks for the loans or for things they need, and we take them. And customer service is another one, right? The people calling to contact center and take the time. We don't have KPI for the agent, say, oh, you have to make this many calls within this. So we took care of members, and then in return, we have a long-term membership. Yeah. So, and even that, we have those personal touch with the members, but I know, importantly, there are members looking for technology, right? They will say, how you can compete with the big banks if I want to do things quicker. So that's where I come in, where like, okay, we can be community service, but still we bring some of the technology into that. So can be whether you become a member easily through online or you have a great online mobile app, so they can, service, you do the thing just like what they do. But they can choose to go to the bank, go to the branch as well. So where we meet where the members want to be served, we are not forced you to go to a particular channel so we equally say, whatever you want to do, we have a way for you to do. So technology really is the center of working with all the business unit. So what is most important initiative we want to do to serve our member, serve our community, then let's use the technology to enable that. So I think that's a great where technology, you're not standalone, because that's where lots of places fall apart. Short is your IT, CTO, or you're just working yourself, but you're not solving the bigger picture. What you really want to solve, it's helping your business, right? So what are the business need?
And so in that desire to sort of, I guess, break out of a siloed thinking and looking at it from a more broader, holistic sense, how do you keep the pulse on what your members want, and how do you keep the pulse on what the businesses actually can do in a reasonable manner?
Yeah, so good question. So I'm really fortunate as a CTO, I report to the CEO directly. I know some of the credit unions, the CTO report to a CFO or CEO, then CEO. So you're not sitting at the board seat, right, with the senior leaders. So point is, I am. So I hear from, weekly we have a senior leadership meeting. I hear all the strategies, knowing what is business needs, right? So I have a constant conversation with our business units. And then when I hear a strategy, whether we need more members, or we want to retain our current membership, or things like that, then I using those are the strategy, those are the areas we want to pay attention. Then I go to the conference like a Fintech Meetup or Finovate, things like that. Then I have those ideas in mind. So, those are the things I want to looking for. So I will target it, right? Then evaluate the vendors and bring a solution into a company. So that's kind of the approach, knowing what strategy, knowing the vision, and then to pick the vendor or decide, okay, that's something we can build ourselves, and then we do that.
And you mentioned that you have been in a CTO for 9 years, or nearly 9 years now. How is it different now versus when you first joined? In terms of even partnerships, or how you bring value to your members?
Yeah. So I think, one thing, even though I said that a lack of financial servicing experience, but that's one area learning, right? And even for my own team members, when we hire people from outside, we don't say you have to have credit union or banking experience, as long as you're willing to learn. So all my team members, same thing, learning. So the first one I told them, you have the technology. What you need to do is learn the business, learn all the terminology about the loans, ACH, all the things like that. And and then another thing with culture-wise is creating that collaboration. So IT is collaborating with other departments. We cannot working on our own things, right? We need to be serving what's business unit needed. So that is a kind of mindset I have. And then, so I think the 8 years I've been here, and with industry changes, all the technology even more and more important. I feel like a stronger seat, like myself, the importance your play, and then the team feel that as well, knowing we just launched some new product to the membership, or we launched something for ease use for the team members, right? So all those things make us wow, this is great. You feel good about yourself, and knowing what you do are impact team members or impact a greater membership. So I think that just the journey of knowing what's important and then deliver that.
And as far as the team members that you found to be, or let's broaden this out, between team members or even partners, business partners. Have you, since being able to look back on the 9 years, are there things that you see that help you now identify who's going to might be as a high probability of being successful or delivering good results? Is there any leading indicators or anything?
Like team members or from the vendor side?
Let's start with team members.
Team members.
And then we'll ask you about that.
Yeah. So team member, I would say, curiosity, right? Willing to learn. You don't have to know the things before, but you're willing to learn and take chances. So one example I can give, when I have admin, she worked for me as admin, but I realized she really good at the detail orientation, detailed, and then project management. So, and then we talk, and then decided she has that, desire to go to project management. So I gave her opportunity, say, oh, let's work on some smaller project. And then she led one of the biggest project we had, and then she got to the role, become a permanent project manager. So that's an example of like, you don't have to be in that field, and it's just you willing to learn, you want to learn, challenge, just like what I have done. And so those team members, encourage them, take on something you may not feel comfortable doing, encourage them, give something small, let's try out, and try out something small, works, then let's go bigger, next one, right? I encourage my team member, like, even when they launch a project, you will be the one doing the demo to the whole team, not me, you doing that. So give them a visibility as well, right? So they feel good about it. So that's just the philosophy I have for the team members. And for vendors, I think the successful ones are, you feel them, they are not just selling something versus they are partner with you. And they're willing to listen, knowing, oh, this product is not 100% meet our needs. They're willing to say, okay, we change this piece, customize that piece, and say, you're the one final decision, say whether it's ready to launch to production now. It's not the vendor, right? So our looking for those vendors are, long-term relationship, not, say, okay, just one project, we're done. Instead of also looking their innovation, look at their roadmap. They continue utilizing newer technology and moving to the way we want to move to. So we go with them as well. So that would be kind of like from the vendor side.
That's brilliant. You've just listening to you, I could tell that you've gone from being a technology leader to a people leader and a business leader now as well too. So yeah, I think those are some great ways to think about things. And obviously you've called upon your past experience. For example, you mentioned like HP, you worked at Ford. How is working at a credit union different from working at some of those types of organizations?
Yeah, so my past experience, all big global, 10,000, team members, those kind of companies. This is my first smaller, and I definitely feel bigger difference. So when it's the culture, we are being a smaller. I don't think it's because it's small. I think just the way we run, our senior leadership, our CEO and the board, how we run the business, the culture is so important. I feel the belonging, feel like, wow, they really care about employee. And then during COVID, just example, like we taking care of the team members. Like we know the team members, if they're by themselves, we have a manager check on them more often because they're by themselves. Right? So those are caring, you just feel like, and then we win several big awards, like, best company to work for, things like that. And I just like in my personal, I just feel like, yes, really, we deserve that award because as an employee, I feel that, the belonging. And then we make something bigger, just the culture of the difference. And we are growing, right? I think we continue to say, no matter what we do, we go bigger, and then the culture still is really, really important. So I think that's the biggest from from the culture perspective. And then from company itself, like we care about our customers, we call members. We care about them as well, like, and then the community impact we do. And then we, not like a big companies who have bigger dollar put in. We may have a little bit smaller for certain things, but the impact is local. It's impactful. And then we hear those stories, impact members' life, like they have trouble with their loans and things like that. We walk through the education, and financial education, things like that, to help them get out to the bad cycle and get to the successful in their financial journey. So I think just feel good about yourself, like, okay, you work for an organization where, make a difference for the community you serve.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And are there any, like, past, like, who do you look up to as a leader that you've tried to emulate, or like that has helped you shape how you lead people and lead organizations?
So that is, unfortunately, I did not have like mentorship per se, but I look up people when I see somebody successful, right? Even at the credit union or our own company, and then see what they are successful at, certain things, and then I will seeking for advice, say, oh, what you have done, and for leadership, like, or building the team, things like that. So I'm looking at kind of like multiple people, say, take the best from everybody. And like, even just, and I talk about my MBA, when I realized I want to do MBA, that was inspired by my manager at the time, when I work at Ford, and I realized, oh, there's several of the managers I look up to, they all have MBA. So that's something I said, oh yeah, let me looking into that. Let me also get into that. So then I, talk to them, say what school is best, and things like that. So that's kind of my approach right now.
That's great, and great advice for our audience as well, I think. So we obviously met at Fintech Meetup. What was your Fintech Meetup experience like?
So I've been Fintech Meetup twice, and then I got the opportunity to talk to you last time. And then so what I like about Fintech Meetup is the livelihood of that. It's just so energetic. You get there, we call this 15 minutes meeting the speed dating, right? So we tell people, they was, what is it like? I said, you got lots of speed dating going on. So it's just like, that is really great, 15 minutes, because a lot of time you meet a vendor, maybe that's not the area you're interested, but you feel bad and you have to walk away. But they want to sell to you. They got you. No, they want to stay long. So the 15 minutes is a good time frame. You get to know each other a little bit. But if you're interested, you can always follow up, right? If you're not, then we're done. 15 minutes. So I think that format is really great. And then to meet lots of vendors all at once quickly, and then you have your own choice. Then the app tell you what they do, you can accept or decline. So you have a flexibility as well, and then you can always go to the vendor hall afterwards and talk to them more. So I think that format itself is really great to see lots of vendor or one-stop shop quickly.
Yeah, and as far as like folks that are thinking about attending Fintech Meetup, like, is there any advice that you might give them?
Yeah, so especially for the credit unions, right? And then I really grateful to see more and more credit unions attending event like a Fintech Meetup. So because I remember several years ago, the first time I attending, there's almost no people from credit union, and then me and actually my CEO, we talk about, said, what conferences should me or our senior leadership to go. Our philosophy is, do not only go to the credit union specific. You do go those, but you do not want to go only those, because now you narrow your mindset. Say, oh, this is what credit union does. You want to see the whole financial industry. You want to see the bigger banks, what they're doing. Well, then you can learn, oh, that's what they're doing. We can do to a certain degree. So I think Fintech Meetup is like example that you're going to see the vendors serving bigger banks or credit unions, and meet people outside the your credit union. You meet people from bank. Just give you a broader view what the financial industry is, and so I think it's great for that purpose. And then for credit union, I know you guys have the Fintech Meetup have this hosted solution, right? You can go for free. You meet for 8 vendors, I believe. I think it's reasonable, right? You first time, if you're a credit union, if you person not sure about the investment, maybe take that route. Say, because you're going to meet the vendors anyway, so how about do that route, meet as 8, and then in the future, if you want to do different way, you can. But maybe the first time, maybe that's more safer options for you, and also maybe easier to get a funding, less cost for the attendees to go. So
that's great. You've been to Fintech Meetup twice. Were there any results, or what any interesting people that you've met and kept in touch with, or that have helped you in your business or even personal?
Yeah, so let me think. So yeah, I got a lot of vendors, right, connections from the event, and as well as other events. There are just so many, so many vendors. It's really hard to keep track of who's who and whatever. But yeah, definitely, I had I don't remember exactly all the details with which vendors per now. But yes, definitely have connections made. Then the further evaluation.
Yes.
Since that. The initial, meeting with and I say, maybe not right now, maybe next year, but at least I have their contact, and I save into one place with all the potential vendors for the future, and then and that's the one thing I want to kind of like almost advise for the fintech. Don't give up. If the first time did not work, it doesn't mean they will know forever, right? Just like we do project, same thing. If first time no, doesn't mean we'll never do. It's maybe the timing's not right. So come back, but they listen to the credit union or bank, say, now this year, next year, said, then don't contact them a week later. Say, what about now? So it's just like try to work with, think about that. Okay, what is the best time? Maybe the timing actually sometimes it's really important. The budget, timelines, and the priorities, right? We may think it is great, but we already have 3 other project planned. We have to get those done before we take on the new one. So let's listen that and then say, okay, reach out to next year. I will reach out to you, or you come back, and then we'll have further discussion.
That makes a lot of sense. And sort of to close it out, you mentioned the future, and like, are there any interesting technologies or anything that on the future that you're thinking, this is intellectually very interesting, and it gets me curious about it. I want to learn more about it.
Yeah, so I think right now the agentic AI is a topic I'm really interested to see a possibility of with agentic AI what all the services can provide through that service, right? The loan origination is one example, a decisioning system, right? And then fraud detection and automation, right? Lots of process we do, back office is manual or lack of automation, and the agentic AI can automate those workflows or automate the process itself, and then reduce the time for the human, and then so I think that just area is just started this year. I think it's a big buzzword this year, but I think it's have put lots of potential, and we see lots of fintech vendors are in that space now, and it's really early, and I'm really looking forward to see more the vendors in that space.
Well, that's an area that I'm definitely interested in as well too.
Yeah.
And Sherry, once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
We really appreciated your comments and your advice.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.